welcome to Bricks and Toys. My name is Brandon, and today this is a surprise video release, and I am super stoked. This build defies everything I've ever done because it's not like anything I have ever done. If I had my way about things, I would be single-minded. Cars, Star Wars, and maybe some random brickheads here and there, and do the flowers with my wife. But not today. Today, we are moving away. Doing something that I have been thinking about, but very unsure about. But enough stalling. Let's drop it on the table and start talking. The A-frame cabin. Released for VIP February 1st. For people without VIP, February 3rd of this year. Now, just talk about that release for a brief minute. I did call the Lego store and kind of talk to them about it. And obviously, it was not something that was made to make the set difficult to get. It was just something that they did to get more VIP members, from what I understand and in my opinion. Because they honestly told me, if you're not a VIP and you come to the store, you can still buy the set and we'll sign you up today. So, okay, I guess it's not about money, it's just about getting people on their program. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Regardless, I am a VIP. I have earned lots of points, and I just keep earning. So, the build. Let's take a look. So, it is the Lego Ideas. If I'm not mistaken, this idea did come from an Italian builder who submitted his version of this. Lego approved. They sent it to their developers, and from there it went into development. And I have to say, this cabin looks amazing. Now, I've already seen it built on the release videos. I've already seen it built in the store, and I try not to look too much in person. It's hard not to. So I'm saving a lot of surprise for myself there. And in the videos, we're in for a treat today. Let's just leave it at that. It is set number, let me see, 21338. It's coming in about 2,082 pieces. Looks like it comes with about 4 minifigs. Comes with about 3 different trees. It looks like it's got some birds up in those trees. Looks like it's got a canoe. Looks like it's got some camp stove. It does look like they used Thor's hammer to do the brickwork around the bottom. So just let you guys take a good look at the box before I keep turning it around. There's the side. I did notice right here on the box, it does say this is idea number 46. And they put a 0 in front of the 46, so that must mean that they really intend on doing more of these. I have heard that the one before this, which was a treehouse, was amazing. And I am going to look into it and maybe put them together as a set. So that was the back of the box. It does look like the roof of it does come apart, and I could confirm that. I have seen that. And the top of the cabin also does as well. As far as that, I'm not going to talk about any more until we get it built together. And it does look like you can put the trees together as well. Let's just take a quick look. It says about 17.5 inches in width and about 11 inches high. So it's a little bit smaller than the land speeder that I built earlier on, and definitely taller, obviously. Oh, it's even got a guy playing a guitar. Acoustic at that. That to me is pretty trick right there. There is just so many elements of this build that I'm excited for because I've just flat out never done anything like this. Cars, Star Wars, and Brickheads. So to do something that's completely different, so pumped. I am bursting with excitement. Let's cut it open. Once it's cut open, it's like that Katy Perry song, there's no going back. And as I do with all of my big builds, slide it on out. Holy cow. That is a lot of bags. And I'm expecting to get this video done in 2 days to get it out to you as soon as possible. Because I definitely do not want to be the last person posting about the A-frame cabin. I'm already probably towards the end of the pack because I don't have a sponsorship. I would like one day, but I have to wait towards the release date, like a normal human. So, let's not hate on our other sponsored Lego people. To them, I congratulate them. They are doing well, and I hope to be with them one day. I just cut the video there, got reorganized. I realized that we had a literal mic drop with our audio equipment. So going over what I found getting organized is there are 15 bags and one unmarked. In the unmarked bag, looks like we have some whips, which will probably be in some woodwork, and a canoe. And we have some, I think, 15 by 8 base plates. We have a total of 3 of those. It does seem as the bags get smaller or bigger in number, they get smaller in size. So that is good. It looks like a lot of the big building is going to be towards the beginning with the finer details being towards the end. That sounds cool to me. Definitely look forward to how all these bags create this cabin. And the cool thing about looking into these bags is because I do mostly Star Wars and cars, I can usually look at the parts and know how they're going to work out. Like big angular pieces are usually like the wings or something of a spaceship. Where here, it's all basic bricks of brown in color. And I know what they make. I've seen the box, but putting them together to make that is going to be super cool. Let's look into the books really quick and see what we see. Really quick, I do see that there is some printed watercolor artwork on these books. There are 2 of them. It looks like the number 1 is day and number 2 is night. There is a little bit of watercolor added to some sketches on the back. This one being of a squirrel with a guitar, and this one being the camera with the coffee cup. So that is pretty cool. Going into the book, the first book has 142 pages of steps at a total of, let me double check this number, a total of 181 steps total at 143 pages, and it goes through a total of 7 bags. There is a lot of information about A-frame cabins. I definitely look forward to reading all about this and what they have to say about A-frame cabins. I personally have never stayed in one. I like to use a tent when I go out camping, but it is a goal of mine one day to sleep in an A-frame cabin in the middle of the woods. I'm more of a woodsy type guy myself. I will take a trip to the beach, especially how I am trapped in the desert right now. And I am from California, so I am used to going to either Yosemite or Santa Monica. But if you gave me the choice of either, I would say take me to Yosemite, sit me with a nice lunch on a rock overhanging a cliff, and I'll be as happy as can be. I'd rather get chased by a bear than stung by a jellyfish. So it does look like here in the book, it does show the original artwork with, looks like probably the dude that did it. I have to read to make sure that is correct. But that is the original version of the submitted Lego idea. So pretty cool. And it looks like there's some people doing some. Oh, that's the designers. So that's the picture of the designers right there that worked on this. Book 2. There is no additional information in Book 2, but Book 2 goes bags 8 through 15 at a total of 101 pages and 333 steps. So overall, pretty hefty build. I have about two days to get this done and get this video out. I want to be as fast as I possibly can, but as I said, I picked this up on the 1st, so I'm going to do my best to get this video out to you by the 4th. So with that being said, let's cut to the cool time lapse. and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I am super excited. There is a lot to talk about. Starting off, let's start with these trees. Now, these trees are removable. They just simply slide out. And one thing I did find pretty trick is they do come together as in such. I do believe that this was done intentionally to maybe make this more easier to put onto a smaller shelf. So I thought that was a really cool detail. But before we move on from the trees, let's move this over here and let's talk more about these trees. For one, I love the attention to detail in these trees. I do like how they represent the seasons and the color change, the tones of yellow to tones of green and tones of red. I do find that really cool. I'm not sure what the intention of the designers were. Maybe the green is just an evergreen and this is placed in the fall time. But regardless, it doesn't matter. They look wonderful. One little thing about building these trees is I am a perfectionist and I just couldn't get from the instructions, and I kept looking at the box while building them. I just could not get a confirmation if I built them 100% to the original design detail. I do believe I did an excellent job. I did the best that I could. I just would like a little bit more, maybe illustrations or something to show that I did nail it as the designers built it. But that's just me being a perfectionist and wanting to stay loyal to the original design. Like I said, regardless, I do believe that I did great. Now going below the trees and looking at the little landscape that the trees sit on, the smaller one that goes into the front, just seems to be a little wood storage area, and I do find it really cool. It does come with a little axe, if you can see, and there's a little piece of wood in with the axe. So I found that really cool, and there is a little blue bird sitting up there in the tree. A lot of nice stone detail in this. Makes a really nice accent piece to the left side of the cabin. Moving on to what goes in the rear right side of the cabin, we do have a little bit more of a watery theme, or water themed. And that is because we have some running water right here, as well as a beaver. I wonder if he gives a damn. Get it? And we have Catzilla. She obviously misses me today. She's like, "You have been building this Lego set. Bye, kitty. I'll get to you later." So, excuse my cat, that was Kiki. She is my baby. But back to the set. It does have the oars in this nice little barrel for the canoe. The canoe does lift out, and there is a little crate right here that does have little life preservers that fits our minifigs. So if they want to hit the river and go canoeing, they sure can. So again, a lot of nice rock detail. This piece right here I found really interesting. I kind of want to do some more research about this piece. It's kind of like a rock wall piece, but they kind of laid it down on its side. I definitely want to know more about that piece from Lego. As I've said before, I want to get into landscaping, and that does seem like a quick cheat sheet way to do it, instead of layering bricks. So, and also, before I pull it out of shot, there is a red bird and a moth on this tree and a moth on this tree. So, enough talking about the birds and the trees. Let's get to this cabin. Now, the cabin does come with 4 minifigs. I do love their accessories. I love their colors. I do like the variety of looks that they have and hairstyles. I think it complements the build. It makes them look like they belong in the woods. As far as critters and woodlife things that we do have a little squirrel chilling right here on the porch. And we have a bird house and 2 more moss. Pretty cool touch. Looks like there is a coffee cup up here, as well as an egg cooking in a little camp stove. Pretty cool little touches. I do like the woodwork detail around the whole cabin. I do think that is really cool. But what I find even more neat is that the sides do come off of the cabin like so. Nice build work on these. Due to my attention to detail, I did notice that there was a 2005 copyright on the little window panes. So these pieces have been around in LEGO sets for quite some time, and they continue in 2023. So whoever put those into motion, they're still being used on new sets. Now, diving in. There's a lot of Easter eggs within this set. I'm only going to talk about the ones that I kind of understand and I do kind of know. I'm not going to talk about the ones that I do not know for sure, because if I don't know something, I will not open my mouth. I do not do that. Especially on the internet. That's called suicide. So, starting off with 2 things that you cannot really see. There is a box under the steps, and to my understanding, that box is a nod to the designer. That's one of his Easter eggs he likes to hide in the set. And then there is an American flag. Well, actually, if you look right here, you can see the box, and you can see the American flag, or the Italian flag, excuse me. And the Italian flag is a nod to the actual designer. Now, we're going to touch another detail about this that so far no other YouTube channels that I've watched has actually noticed. So keep that Italian flag in mind, and we'll get back to that in a second. So starting off with the top deck, there is a spider in the loft up here. So watch out, you don't want to get bit. And let's pop this off so I can really, there we go. The set does come apart with the roof, and it does break into 2 pieces, which makes movability sweet. So starting off over here, there is a little yellow car. To my understanding, that is another LEGO idea set called the Caterham. And then we have a nice cozy bed. Moving around. Lots of detail in this set. Too much to cover. We'll be here all day. Oh yeah, go back over here. And we do have a high quality camera. I was made to believe that the red does signify a Canon. I could be wrong on that. And then this treehouse right up here is a nod to another LEGO idea. I might be looking at doing this set towards the middle of the year. I still have to find it and see if it's retired, and if it's not, then it most likely is still affordable, but one day at a time. I did find one thing really interesting. There is a pair of binoculars on this bed, and if you know anything about living in the city and law and order, I will say, if there is cabins next to this cabin, whoever is sleeping in that bed, he has a lot, or she has a lot of explaining to do, because they are likely peeping. But hopefully the cabin is by itself in the middle of the woods, and they're just looking at birds out of the nice window that opens up back here. If I can get my finger in there. Ah. Yep, there it goes. Ta-da! So that's enough of the top deck. Moving on to the bottom. Now, one of the things that really drew me in is kind of in this corner. It's actually two things. It's a record player right up here with a record slided down the bottom and a record currently being played. Now, I am a huge record collector. I love my records. I listen to all types of rock and roll, hip-hop, and country, and I love to hear all of that stuff on my records. So when I saw this in the build, I figured that is a huge selling point for myself because it is a nod to something that I like, and it's in this build. Secondary on around the record are geodes and crystals and rocks of such nature. And I found that special to me because that is a hobby that my wife has, and I like to enjoy that hobby with my wife. So just in this one little area alone, there's a huge hobby of mine and a huge hobby of my wife. So when I look into this build and I see that corner, it really, makes me feel good. So pretty cool stuff there. There are two chairs with a newspaper kind of under this one chair with a magnifying glass. The cool thing about the magnifying glass is it actually magnifies the newspaper, so you can read about what's going on over there. There is a nice set of steps, thermostat, candle, all right there. Turning back around, maybe you could see there's the magnifying glass. There is a nod to the Blacksmith, a Lego Ideas set, as well. If you look inside a thing that says Lego, that is the doormat. So that's two cool little extra Easter eggs there. Now that I've heard that there is a nod to the Donut King modular set. There's the newspaper, and if you can't read it, well, see here. Maybe we can get our little magnifying glass out. You can help read it. Then there is a typewriter, which is a nod to the typewriter set. I do like how there's like a little stool with a teapot and a teacup. That is pretty awesome. There is also a water bottle in there, umbrella, and a guitar. Pretty sweet. Nice functioning kitchen in this set with a carton of milk. And a pan on the stove, and they're not cooking anything. So as well. Moving along to the back, put it down. The back is pretty cool. Starting off, we have what I think could be another little nod is, I guess there was something about the refrigerator door in the Sanctum Sanctorum set, and that is the opposite door of the refrigerator in that set, used as the toilet paper. And the toilet paper is distinctly placed by a shovel. Now, if you can put two and two together, they're kind of telling you to go use the woods like a bear. That's pretty cool. There's a nice little shower with a bar of soap, a water tank with some utility gauges, and going back to that little American or Italian flag, excuse me, the green, white, and red. I do believe that the colors that they chose for this, the green, red, and the white, all right here, I do believe that is another nod to Italy. But this part you can see where this is more of a direct flag, when that's just the colors. So I do believe that that still is a nod to the designer. So from that angle, you can just see the top just goes back on. Nice and simple. The sides go in. If you're not overly careful like me, this is actually pretty simple to do. Pops back in. You take your beautiful pieces and voila, the A-frame cabin. This is a sight to behold. I do wish that I could put it down lower, but if you see my time lapse, there's little teeny hands just trying to grab the pieces off the table as I'm trying to build. Those tiny hands are my youngest, precious, most daughter, and she thinks this is a giant play set. And I do not blame her. There's a lot of little things in there to get your little fingers on and that I can't really touch with my big fingers, so it all makes sense. So unfortunately, this will have to go up on my high shelf, and maybe when she's older, I can put it down lower and it'll be out for everybody to enjoy. But anytime anybody comes over, I'm going to have to pull it down just to show them, and that is a little bit unfortunate, but set is totally great. In my final thoughts, besides the struggles with the trees, I honestly had a blast. I put a lot of attention to detail to make sure every little thing was straight and the instructions were clear. I did enjoy having 2 workbooks. It kind of made it feel like it was a more engaging build. Total, I did put about 6 hours of build time into this, and I would have to say, lately, doing Star Wars sets and little Speed Champion sets, I'm enjoying the after product a lot more than the build itself. And doing this project has really allowed me to touch back in and really enjoy the build again. I have to say, everything around this has been one issue after another as far as making this video. But doing that 6 hours of where it was just me and the Legos has been delightful. So if you haven't already thought about it and went and gone and did it, I highly suggest that if you're looking for an engaging set that's going to keep you really entertained for about 6 hours, check out this set. I do believe that they are $179 at the American Lego store, and it's over 2,000 pieces, and I really recommend. Like I said, everything with making this video has been a nightmare with my equipment, but just the 6 hours of doing this really it was something else, and I super enjoyed it. And if you're looking for something engaging and enjoying, once again, $179 plus tax at your Lego store, I highly recommend it. If you want to leave any comments or questions or anything, drop them below. I will get to them. And other than that, I wish you all to have a good one. This is Bricks and Toys. My name is Brandon. It's been a pleasure. Signing out.